Hey, what's going on, everybody? Pad Ragnarok here, and today I just kind of wanted to take a look at some tips, some advice, some couple different things that you may or may not already know about this game. Some things that I didn't even know until recently, and some things that are a little bit older. So this could be helpful for newer players. This could be helpful for older players. You know, I've been playing for over 2 years, and I just found this one thing out 2 weeks ago. Whether it's new to co-op, I'm not sure, but anyway, I think it's pretty cool. So we'll just jump into it. The first thing is guerrilla timing. So these dungeons over here, where it has the Predras, it has the Super Kings, it is so much easier now to farm those. It used to be that you would have to wait for Sapphires till 3 p.m. if you're Group C. If you want to wait for the Descend Carnival, you have to wait till 11:30 in the morning. Some people work, some people work different hours, some people are sleeping by the time these come around. And I think they used to come out, let's see, they used to be around like 1 in the morning. So if you wanted to run your Super Kings or to Madras, you had to wait, set an alarm, which I did. I will admit I have done that before, just to make sure I get tans or just to whatever it is. So today is the infestation here for the Predras, and these are really good for getting MP and such. Or did I say Predras? There's Predras in here, but mostly for these latent awakenings. So let's say you wanted to run this, but you missed your thing at 3 o'clock. Well, you can, or let's say you missed it a more reasonable time, 11 a.m. Well, if you go to Pad, let me open that up. If you go to Pad, then you click multiplayer and find a friend's room, you can find other people playing that particular dungeon. Even though your time has passed, you can join theirs and you don't actually have to have it up for you at this time. That makes it so much easier to farm to Madras, Predras. If you just want to jump in on a Super King gold that you may need, you want to sell them for gold, or just evolve somebody like Mech Zeus, who takes freaking forever with 16 million experience. But you can jump into anybody else. You don't have to wait until your time. If we go back here to the Predra list, I can run it at 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 4, and 5. If I wanted to sit there for 5 hours. Now, I would have to have a friend who is running it, of course, but if you use your stones to increase friend space, or just check out the Discord, you can see other people farming it, and all they want to do is look for a partner. So that brings me into the second thing when it comes to button teams. So I have this snapshot of Pig O My B, who I know from from the players group on Facebook, and I joined his room here because Predra Infestation is only 5 floors, and if you have a team of Ra, Lilith, anybody really, as you can see, we have different components of a button team. His much better than mine because he pulled 5 or 4 Ras from the wedding gala, which is super awesome. Basically comes out Awoken Ra. But if you see somebody who has somebody like Ra, Rodin as their lead, there is a good chance that you can just join that team even if you don't have a button team. So if we were to play this dungeon, I could just let him take out the whole thing. And I kind of call it like riding the wave. You know, just jump in, and I can honestly join this room, let the game start, and then walk away. Now this one's a little bit different because he will get skill delay resisted, or skill delayed by the Tamadras. But lots of dungeons like Tamadras, Super Kings, you can kind of join this and let them do all the work in a way. You know, honestly, I don't feel bad about doing that because somebody making this room, they're doing it because they just want to run through that dungeon and take advantage of the half cost stamina. And it's okay to just run along with it. Otherwise, they would have to either be sitting there. Sometimes people sit there for 20 minutes, leaving the room open, waiting for somebody to join. And they're not looking for anybody in particular. Now, I will advise you that if you do see somebody who has a Rodin as a lead, there's a good bet that they may have Rodin, they may have Gonan, they may have Ra on that team, like the old button team. And they may either be looking for somebody else to join who has the certain cards that they want. They may need a certain amount of skill boost from you. So I would advise caution of just joining every room. Kind of make sure you know who the person is. I've played with Pig a couple of times, or many times, and I think that when he creates a room, he's really just looking for somebody to join. I don't really have to do anything. So it kind of makes it a little bit convenient for both players, taking advantage of that stamina cost reduction. And then you both get the Freedras, you both get the Tamadras. Otherwise, if nobody joined Pig's game, then he would have to do it regular style, and he would have to spend full stamina, which is not as cool. You know, that's why multiplayer is around. So the next thing I want to talk about is the MP shop. So of course, a lot of you know that there is an MP shop out here. Let's go to it real quick so I can purchase monsters. I only have 51,000 MP right now. Now, of course, you all know these super strong monsters down here. Shumin, I don't know how to pronounce that. Yomi Dragon is around. The Puppeteers are very powerful. I would say anybody Linka and down, you probably shouldn't purchase. Like Princess Soprano, I'm not really sure if this is like a joke card. I mean, it can be worth it if you don't have a Callie, I guess. But I don't think it's nearly as strong or worth the 100,000 MP. So if this is your first monster that you buy, maybe you can purchase it. I'm not going to say no, but what I would say is everything else below it, you don't need to purchase. You can farm Bad Piece and Shine Piece, which we will get to in a minute. You can easily farm these Tans, and then you can now farm all of these. You know, you couldn't farm Skill Delay Resist, but now that is in the Predra Infestation. So these I would not buy. Extreme King Metal, you can farm that. There is a dungeon specifically for that. Use a bunch of poisoners and you can get past it. If not, see the rule before this where you can join a button team where somebody can, you know, kind of carry you through that. As long as they don't mind. Again, I do want to stress that. Jewel of Fires, you may be very tempted for these. The best thing I can say is when an event comes around, you do want to farm up on these. Try to get as many as possible. Dungeons like the Ranking Dungeon, I think I'm skipping ahead of myself, really got me a ton of yellow jewels. I just kept getting invades. So, Devilits, Tri-Fruits, don't really go for it. I had somebody I was talking to the other day, and they spent a lot of MP getting things like Rainbow Keeper, Tamadras, and Keeper of Gold, things like that. It's not super important to waste your MP there. I always think it's a lot better to save that MP. Someday, you know, you'll get enough bad cards from the REM to sell, and you'll get a Yomi Dragon, and your game will vastly improve. I know my game when I got Yomi Dragon got super better. Super better? When I got Yomi Dragon, it got so much better. But I think that is probably better. You know, spending your MP, yeah, it may seem like only 3,000, only this, only that. But if you pulled from the REM and got a bad card, that's really 5 stones that you kind of threw away if you're buying a Tamadra. Better off would be to go to the rule before and see the button teams of people playing Tamadras. So another question I get a lot from people is, how do you get pies? Like, you know, Ragnarok, you have, and I'll give you an example, you have like 30 wood peas. How did you get all of those? How did you get all these spirituals? How did you get all these Tans? These wood peas, I got them, a lot of them from Arena and defeating challenge dungeons. And of course I understand that that's not for everybody. Everybody's at a different skill level. You may not be able to farm any of those dungeons. But if you go to dungeon here, I would say go to the technicals and farm these alternate dungeons here. You may not see pies that often, but you can join this in co-op, run it for 15 stamina, and even if you're only rank 150, you should have at least, I would say, 75 stamina. I don't know off the top of my head, but that would give you like 6 runs at a time. And you can stone, or you can just do something else, come back to the game, and you'll have plenty of stamina. At that rank, it probably only takes 3 hours for you to fill up your stamina bar again. And you can run that literally all day on co-op and have half stamina. And eventually you'll encounter a pie. Now, it's not ideal, of course. It would be good to just get pies from Arena and things like that. But this is a good way to go about it if you are not able to defeat the Ultimate Arena just yet. And that's okay. That's why they do have this alternate dungeon. It used to be that you had to buy that in the coin shop, and now they made it so it's available to everybody in technicals. And as you work your way through, you can try challenge mode. You can. There's a lot of these alternates. I haven't even played too many of them. I think there's at least 10, and they are tougher. So I will say to bring somebody who boosts your HP because they hit hard. So just in case you mess up, you want to be able to walk through it. So that is one great way to farm pies. Another, of course, Arena, and of course defeating these dungeons, the challenge dungeons. So I did the Ascend challenge. I figured I believe this was the easiest that we've seen so far because it was a 7x6 board. But there's tons of people playing them. If I go to multiplayer, find a room, there's possibly somebody playing it right now. Let's see. Yep, somebody's doing Amir Descended El Papi there. So just get more friends out there. Join the Discord group. Spend your stones in increasing friends is what I mean by that. And people are looking to play them. So if you need help, then just join this or play with me, and we can work through it. So getting those pies is super important, but also farming jewels. So people ask me also, how do I get so many jewels? You really want to go to PadX and check out the events over here. Let me go to my monitor. So over here during certain events, you will have a little jewel here. And it's not every event. As you can see, we're still in an event right now, and there are not any invades, but you can run things like Hera Bjork. You can run any mythical or legend dungeon. Agni, which came out yesterday. Journey to the West, I believe, could be part of that. I do not know how to say this, but I won't take a chance. And even Lynthia, like, they will appear in there, and they will come as the Chinese gods. So if you haven't encountered any just yet, they are out there. You just want to wait for an announcement for a certain event like that, and then just keep playing it over and over. I know that not everybody can sit in front of the game and play for hours and hours, but sometimes they come on the first run, sometimes they come on the 10th run, so you just gotta kind of know that going in. I would say try to save what you spend them on. If you try to evolve somebody like, I think, Starling, he requires a blue one. Maybe you don't need him, maybe you want to save it for somebody else. So just think wisely about how you spend it would be my best advice there. And then just try to hoard them. I mean, I've got how many green spirit jewels? I just kind of hold on to them. And even, you know, I'm even out of the red ones right now. I have a lot of blues, a decent amount of blues. I have a lot of greens, and I only have one red. I did sell a lot of them, and I kind of regret that now. But I figured I was never going to get Leyland, and then she did eventually come into my life. There she is. Farming pluses, farming and fusing. A lot of people say, how do you get so many pluses? The best dungeon I would say out there that's pretty easy is Kanetsugu. That one I can get between 5 to 7 pluses every single time. And then what I do is I usually just put them into a fodder. I wonder if I have one right now. I don't think I do. Yeah, I think I just put them into Persephone. Yep. So she is at 85, 82, and 31. And I'm so far behind on the RCV pluses. But there are lots of really good dungeons out there to get them. Right now, I think the best one would probably be Amir, because Amir gives somewhere between 5 to 6 just about every run. That's pretty good. And I also got 6 from Agni Descended today, but that could be a little bit tougher for some newer players. But I think that those are the best ones. But when it comes to fusing pluses, this is something I didn't know until like a month ago. If I tried to fuse, let's take Loki here and put somebody, what plus do I have that I just got? Let's put this guy into him. If I were to try to fuse a plus, it does tell you with a little warning, you can fuse eggs up to 99 for each, HP, attack, and RCV. So it actually will warn you before you go over. So you can kind of think like, oh crap, I probably shouldn't do that. The same time, it does that also for pies. So if I were to get my bad pea here, which is a scary one, maybe they changed it. I don't know. I'm gonna pick a wood pea one because I have so many. So I'm gonna take my Artemis, who is max skilled, and try to put a wood pea into her. So if I try to defuse that, it will say you cannot fuse it any further. So that is something cool I didn't really know too much about until recently. Maybe it was added recently, maybe it was added a year ago and I just missed it. But like I said, there's always little things that not everybody knows, which is cool to discuss every once in a while. So yeah, kind of be careful with your pluses. And what I usually do is I fuse one card up to about 99. And then I fuse it into a monster that I want. Because if you go any further, it will cost a lot more gold. It'll start costing like 200,000 just to fuse one single plus into them. So I always try to organize by that. Some people do 99 HPs, one fodder for 99 RCVs. You can do that as well. It's totally up to you what you want. But I usually end up finding the card that I want, sorting my pluses, going back up to my Persephone, for example, and then knowing that my fodder needs 14 HPs, 17 attacks, and something 60 what, 68 RCBs. So I'll try to finish that one out. That would add up to about 99 or so. So I can kind of work on that fodder there. So the last thing I want to talk about would be rolling Godfests versus collabs versus galas. I find that if you're going to roll, if you're going to spend money on the game, the best time would be Godfest during a 4x Godfest exclusive event. That's going to take all of the monsters here. Let me go back to Pad X. All of the monsters here are going to be ×3 rates, and it will tell you down here with a little note which ones are ×1 for this event for day 1 when they do a second day event, which one else is also is ×1. That means everything else is ×3 for normal Godfest and ×4 for those super exclusive ones, the Player's Choice Godfest. They had it, which was really nice. So if you're going to purchase like $200 worth of stones, I would wait for a Godfest 4x rates to get cards that you want. And kind of pick and choose which Godfests you want. Like for me, I have almost all of these cards here. I'm not really banking on getting these. Those are kind of bonus. Yeah, maybe I could get them. I do need Kaede, I do need Eshkamali. But I think that if you roll looking just for Kaede, you're probably going to be disappointed. It's better just to roll through and just say, like, have an open mind. Hey, you know, I could use a lot of these cards. Let me just take a couple rolls. But you know, if you want to spend money on a certain Godfest, looking for that Orochi, for example, you're free to do so. But I would say 4x Godfest. You know, put a little restraint if you want. For me, it can get out of hand if I just keep rolling until I get an Orochi. You know, but everybody's a little bit different how they spend their money, and I'm not going to say how you should. But I will say that Godfests are in general better than rolling in a gala. Now there are some really good cards you can get in a gala. They did add Napoleon, who is a fire type, Fire Gala exclusive, which is new. So you could get him right now if you rolled Godfest because Fire Gala is in the background. But rolling just off Godfest and getting looking for gala type cards, in general, I'd say don't do it unless you spend a lot of money on the game, because you may still get more likely to get like silvers, like Cinderellas and stuff. Not saying you can't get those during Godfest as well. So the other thing I want to touch on would be the collabs. In general, I have found collab rates to be very, very bad, meaning that you'll get a lot of silvers. Now in the wedding one we just had, silvers were okay if you got like the light Izanami. That was not a bad card at all, a really good one actually. But for the most part, rolling and hoping to get Eshkamali is kind of like rolling Godfest, just looking for a Kaede. The rates are so low for it. Some people get it on the first roll, so I'm not going to say don't roll it, but if you spent a couple $100s and didn't get Eshkamali, I would say don't be surprised. Collab rates are generally very low to get them. We have the Christmas collab coming back, and the chances of me rolling 5 times and getting Decali or Red Sonia is probably really low. Sometimes it would take 50 rolls, 100 rolls, 300 rolls just to get that. I've seen it happen, just to get that 6-star exclusive or 7-star, whatever they start at, for the super rare ones, you know. So those are some pieces of advice that I have. Let me know if anything was new, if this was all old information, but I think it's always good to just touch base on certain things and kind of share what I know, and you guys can share what you know back with me. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button below, comment whatever you like. I love talking with you guys. Hit that subscribe button and follow at Pad Ragnarok on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you guys in the next video.